Hello, everyone. Welcome to another awesome day, the first day of the year for 2022. I have to practice that. If you hear me making a mistake with that or mess with that, let me know. So today is another awesome broadcast day at fmtraining.tv. I'm the creator of fmtraining.tv, which is a blessing and also a curse. I can tell you that for a personal experience. So let's talk about the upcoming broadcast schedule. Every day at this time, we are broadcasting awesome content. If you go to fmtraining.tv, you can come down here. You can see the live training tab that's right over here. It's pretty amazing. And you can come down here and you'll see a live feed out of FileMaker of the upcoming broadcast schedule. So we eat our own dog food. Right, so we don't say use FileMaker and then we use Salesforce secretly like some companies do. We actually use FileMaker end to end every day. So very exciting. So today and tomorrow is Christian Schmidt from Monkeybread. He'll be here momentarily. He's standing in the wings, ready to go. We're going to be talking about Monkeybread, the best features for your Macintosh, but Christian says some of this stuff will work on Windows, and he can also do a Windows-specific day if you want to do that. So some of you are Windows folks. We upfront apologize for that. Margaret was supposed to put in here, yeah, it's in the description down here, the part where it's kind of Mac-specific stuff. So, and it's not really so much that Christian hates Windows, just that there's the operating system differences, and so some things you build in one place really won't go everywhere, right? Then Wednesday we got Klaus Levent. That's pretty awesome. He'll be here talking about some sort of server automated installation with Linux, which will be interesting. Jacob Taylor will be excited to hear that. MBS plugin will be there, and then Friday, and then all sorts of stuff. So, and then theoretically, next week, Monday, we will be doing a pre-release conversation about the new starting point. So starting point 22. Not that 22 is much of a pistol, but it is what it is. So it's starting point for the year 2022. That'll be next Monday with Nick. Now that's also a challenging week because next week, we are going to be doing certification training. So if you come over here to the website and you press certification training, you can see the upcoming special high-intensity training for FileMaker certification. So that will start those days next week. It'll probably go a couple days the following week. So it's a 11 o'clock broadcast. You have to have our complete training, and then you can come to this. It's free if you have our complete training bundle. If you don't have the complete training bundle, I don't know what to tell you. You can send an email to me and whine and cry that you're worthy of that. And I guess if you've recently cured cancer, then we will comp that to you. Wink, wink to Stu. So, because Stu is personally handed holding the Chinese at bay in Taiwan. Don't ask me how I know that to be a true story. So, so you can come over and check it out. But this is at 11 o'clock. Once again, this is my time, so you'll have to adjust the schedule. So normally, right now it's 1 o'clock, and so 2 hours before this, we'll be doing about 90 minutes of certification training. I guarantee that everyone's going to learn stuff, and the goal is to get you over 62%, which is a passing grade with the test. The goal is not to teach you how to use FileMaker, how to be a better FileMaker developer, how to use this stuff. The goal is to get you through the test to pass the test. That's what it is, right? Some of it will be rote memorization, some will be educational, some of it will be funny. So what we're going to do is pivot. Oh, one last thing. We have one last thing. Very, 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 very important. So everyone pay attention to me. Very important. So I'm going to use my favorite assistant over here to explain what's happening. So what we have is that Claris, right? Claris is going to be canceling FileMaker Cloud 1. Now, they've been warning about this for about a year, and as of tomorrow or tonight at midnight or at some point, Claris, right, will be shutting off your Cloud 1 servers if you're using them. Now, everyone's been warned. We've been warning you. Claris, right, has been sending you emails to warn you that this day is coming. So tomorrow is literally D-Day, where you're going to wake up, and if you're still using Cloud 1, it ain't going to work, right? And so it's kind of one of those moments where Claris probably wish they would have handled it somewhat differently in retrospect. Hopefully they've learned from that. But the point is they're going to shut down the Cloud 1 service. That doesn't mean they're getting rid of FileMaker Cloud. The current product in market is FileMaker Cloud version 2, right? So, but it's really important to note that we've been warning you, and then after this warning right now, there won't be any more warnings. It'll just be truth. There's warnings and then there's reality or truth. If you want to solve important problems, so let me briefly say this. FileMaker platform is a great platform, but it has limitations. If you want to overcome the limitations, probably 90% or 95% of the limitations can be overcome by using Monkeybread. So it's a product that we see right here. This wonderful individual here, he's won more awards than I can shake a stick at. Monkeybread software, it's a plugin with now 6,669 features, so it keeps growing. 0.96?
You said 69, it's 96.
96, 69. It's 69 features in it. So it's really a great product. It solves a lot. All the time people are going, hey, can FileMaker blah, 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 blah. And Christian's like, yeah, it does that, right? So almost every time it does that. And so it's kind of obnoxious. He answers it. We had an event the other day, a couple months ago, and we had everyone try to stump him. We had one person out of 20 people bring something that they want to do in FileMaker that it couldn't do with the plugin, right? So pretty amazing, right? So yeah, I'm going to turn over to him. Are you there? Do we hear you? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good, he's there. All right, so we're going to make you full screen. So what are we doing today? It's like the top super 24 things we need in FileMaker, or what for Mac, or what are we doing?
Yeah, so the idea was to take 2 days and talk about all the little things the MBS plugin adds to FileMaker for Mac. Those are things which you can just use in FileMaker if you install the plugin, and you don't even need a license for them. So you can just enjoy them, and it's a little help for you. And we want to take today a look on 12 functions. And tomorrow we take another day to look at 12 other functions for the script workspace. So first day is without the script workspace, we look on all the other things I have on the list. So let's just start. You may have installed our plugin for Mac. And then if you launch FileMaker, you can go to the preference dialog, and you can take a look here in the preference dialog. Or what we also do is we go to the help menu, and there you see a few entries from the plugin. So the MBS plugin adds a website here, the reference for the documentation, and the preference dialog directly. And for many of those features, we only enable them if you are a developer. So your customers don't see those. So I have installed our latest beta version, 12.0. And here's the dialog to turn on and off all the little options we have. And usually I would say turn them all on and see if it helps you. The first thing we want to take a look here is the minimum font size in calculations. I put here in the value of 20, because by default, calculations have a very small size in the text. So we have here, you see, it's a big font. And let's see what the default size is. So I go to the preference dialog, I turn it off. Go back to the data viewer, and the calculation text is a bit smaller. And if you're getting older and your eyesight is not as good as it used to be, you may be happy to get a bigger font size. Like for the presentation, you may just take something like even 30 big letters. Any questions for that?
I don't see any, but that's much more readable.
Okay. Yeah. Just stop me if someone has a question.
I will let you know.
So the font size, great thing. So the next thing we have is here on the right side of the dialog, you see there's a line number and a column number. So I can just type here text and several lines. And now I can see here we are on line 5, column 1, and If I have some text, I get here column 14. I can even select some text and think about how many letters I may have selected. And it shows me here S for selection. So it's 6 characters. And that may be useful sometimes, like if you write a calculation, like if characters, no, left from some text and equals hello, and you have some special text here. You're wondering how long it is. Of course, with hello, it's easy, but if you have a very long identifier there, you may wonder how many characters it is. So you know it's 17, so you can put in 17 here for the left, so you can compare the right amount of characters. And you may have all run into the issue where this text wasn't exactly the length you put here.
Oh, that's actually really cool. That makes it so much easier.
Yeah. Okay, and of course, if you are having a custom function and you have something like 20 lines there, it may be helpful to just tell your friend which line you are if you're talking about a calculation. So you see already the colors here. So the MBS plugin has a rule-based syntax highlighting, and there's actually a color defined for identifiers like if. There's a color defined for incorrect brackets. There's a color for correct brackets. There's a text color, a number color, and we can even define a lot of more colors for any character we like. So let's just go and look on our examples. There's a folder, let's see, Mac only, syntax coloring for Mac. Let's see, there's one example here. And it defines some things and some colors, but we got a much bigger example from Russell. And there are a couple of more people who made tools like this. So there's a FM syntax colorizer here. And we are actually using one of these color sets defined by Russell as the default for the plugin. So if you don't have any anything configured at all, there is a default set here, and it's built into the plugin and it's hard-coded, and so you have a factory set. And here's a list of script steps and their color. And you can define colors for script steps. We'll see that tomorrow when we look on the script workspace. But there's also the thing for the functions. So let's go down. So we have here for calculations, you can define a color for variables and global variables and tiled variables. So you can define, in a let statement, you can use tilde to define your local variables in the calculation, so you can give them a special color too. So colors, brackets, and if you like to change a color, you can of course pick here a different color, and those are from a color set, so you can actually change the color set too. Let's go back here to the start. Of course, there's a color palette here. Where's the color palettes defined? Oh yeah, the colors button. So you see there's a color palette, and we can browse through the palettes and see the different styles. Some palettes have different meanings, like you can have a palette to highlight everything with arrows and leave everything else in black. Or there's a color palette for dark mode, and well, different tastes of color palettes. Like a colorblind person may have different ideas about the colors than a regular. So let's see, there are some special things you can define for your calculations. Let's go down. So you can, of course, define names for special variables. Like if you have a global variable you use all the time, you can give it its own specific color. So you could say if you have a typo there, it would get the color for the globals. But if you have your specific color, variable name, you get a specific color. So you can distinguish regular globals from your specific globals. You can also give different functions, different names, different colors. So you can have your own custom functions with special colors to distinguish them from the other colors. So here's basically every function defined in FileMaker can be assigned a specific color to quicker see them. Normally we leave them all black. So, and then we have wildcards. Like we have here something like fix me, or you like to find something where there's an error, like there's no layout specified. Hey, I didn't speak English for a week, so all a bit rusty. Okay, so you can define your color set, you can apply it, and with a big button there, and then you can have your colors in FileMaker. Any questions for that?
Two more sort of general questions. The first one is from Dave White on YouTube. Does MBS need to be installed on the server machine or on the client running FileMaker Pro?
These features are for FileMaker Pro, so you install it on the client. Every machine with FileMaker Pro needs to have the plugin installed and loaded to get those benefits. You can see here that maybe a plugin folder. You see where we have the plugin, not in this folder, because that folder is for the specific version. Then we have here extension folder for all FileMaker versions, because MBS plugin can be used with several FileMaker versions. So just install it once for all versions. If you like to use the FileMaker, the MBS plugin on the FileMaker server for data API, WebDirect, scheduled scripts, or PSOS, also perform script on server, you would install it on the server and then activate it in the console and then use it on the server. But all those syntax highlighting things are on the client.
Okay, awesome. And then from Alpha Lima 92, he just wanted to request, can you state which functions are Windows compatible, which are Mac only? So
yeah, everything we showed today is for Mac. I thought about making another video with you guys about Windows, where we can actually have hotkeys defined to bring up dialogues and do something in the script workspace. But it's not like we have on the Mac for Windows.
Got it. Cool. And then last question, what about highlighting the open and closing what about highlighting the open and closing bracket?
Yeah, that's certainly on my list, but let's take just a quick look. Let's open the data viewer. So if you define a calculation, you may have some brackets. So the MBS plugin automatically shows you which brackets are correct or wrong. Oh, stage colors, yeah. So we have different colors for different brackets. And also if you click on a bracket, it should show you the other one. You turn it off. Just look. So there's preference. Oh, there, apply. So actually I didn't have this feature on here. Let's try again. Yeah. So here you see the MBS plugin detects that the selection changed. It looks if there is a bracket, and then it looks for the matching bracket and gives both the same background color. In this case, blue. This can be very useful, and actually it works with different type of brackets. And we have also a feature where if you have text with brackets, we can match the brackets within the string and not match them with brackets outside the text. So if I add a bracket here, this bracket is not matched again. This one, even if I add one here, so you see there's text with extra bracket, but this bracket doesn't match the one in the text. This can be very helpful because you may want to see for your SQL statements or some calculations inside a string. You want to see if the brackets match. So I think bracket matching is a great feature. Okay.
I think we should be good. Perfect. Thank you. I love this bracket highlighting feature. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. It's always good if people like what I do. So let's say the next thing. So you have your dialog to enter your calculation, and you can actually press Command F, and you get a search box. There's also a replace. So
okay, that's really
search
cool.
for a bracket and say I want to have all those brackets changed.
That is
whatever search you have
cool.
to do. But funny thing is, the search box is a feature from Apple in their frameworks. So if you go to an application like TextEdit, you also get the same controls there because, well, it's an operation system feature, something Windows doesn't offer as far as I know. And we can just tell the operation system, well, for this text box, just enable the find feature, and the plugin listens for the hotkey, Command F, to show you where it is. And we also watch for the hotkey with Command G to jump from one position to the next. And this yellow highlighting here and this rewind logo, that's all coming from the Apple frameworks. It's just something we enable. Okay, search and replace in your calculations, in any calculation window, because the plugin just universally puts this on this control, and FileMaker uses this control on several places. So let's just let's make a new database. Let's take the assets example, save somewhere, and we define a custom function. So custom function. So, and like in the custom function dialog, again, I can search and do my replace here. So if you have to search and replace in a custom function, you can do that with a plugin. And of course, for any scripts you have, for the calculation, well, here also Command F, replace. So whatever you have to search here, you can find it. And I think we have over 20 different windows where you can use this feature. So any questions there?
No, I don't see any.
Okay, yeah, sure. So let's go to the next thing. So now you have your expression dialog here, and you just copied and paste something, and how can I? So that's what is a tab character. So, and what you don't see is there's a tab there. Okay, so I have my shortcut here for the shortcut lists in the plugin. So it's a block article. And what I want to show you is here, show invisible characters. So Command I. So the plugin changes mode here, and for every return, it draws a paragraph symbol. For every tab, it draws an arrow. So you see the arrows. if there are, but we have a list of other functions. Like for example, here for space, we draw a dot. The shortcut list is on the blog. It's a blog posting. I just Googled for shortcuts on my blog. And I made this blog post last year. So you find a few of them useful, certainly. So Command I as here the invisible characters, Command F the find. Also useful can be copy. So the normal FileMaker copy is with here Command C, but if you also press the Option key, you get the copy from the MBS plugin, which takes the text with the current font and color. So we get here, let's make a normal copy, see if there's a difference. Yeah. So this is copy with FileMaker, and this copy with MBS plugin. So we have the color and the font size. So close that. Delete. So if there is a character, I'm not sure how to generate one. Let me see. Let's put so MBS clipboard set text char, let's see, 3. Okay, paste. So you see if there is a non-printable character, this is a bit strange, yeah. So if there's a non-printable character, we actually show them in, not sure what's called. So this escaping we used to use on Unix a lot of years ago. So this is character 3, so third letter in the alphabet, it shows it as C. So if you would have some invisible character there, which FileMaker doesn't show, you would actually see something with the plugin. Also, I see that it prints a paragraph symbol over the text. So, well, I hope it may be useful to find some text which you normally don't see. Also, you can show the ruler if you like. It's another feature we added, but not sure yet how much useful it is. But what the plugin does with the ruler is we add a lot of tabs here. So instead of just 12, we have I think a few more. Yeah, 36 or something like that. So if you have tab separated, so if you have tabs in your calculations, you could actually format them with the tabs. So let's say if you like to have text aligned horizontally, and yeah, the plugin just extends this list to a lot of more tabs than by default. Oh, I got a suggestion to try the byte order mark. Let's see. So again, MBS clipboard set text. I'm not sure if it would survive. So 65279. Let's just put it. Let's say you have it extra one here somewhere in your text. So we put it on the clipboard, paste it again, so we don't see anything. But if you choose Command I, we have an invisible character which doesn't show. Maybe Kyle could send me an email later so I don't forget it. So I could give that character some kind of symbol too. Okay, thanks for that. So, if there are no questions, otherwise, let's go for the next feature.
Nope, looks like people are just watching.
Okay, so let's see, we go in the Manage Database dialog, and here we see a list in FileMaker. This is actually a system control for showing a list. And FileMaker makes it a 3-column list and has some entries. And we can actually press Command F here again to search. So text. So I can search for text fields. This can be useful if your other developer uses maybe some prefix on the field name, so you don't find it right away. It's not maybe in the list alphabetically. So you would look, where is the create timestamp, and so you can find it if it's somewhere in the text. So find, there is no replace here intentionally, because that would be very complicated. Search in text. So, but you can search. And again, Command G for going to the next one. Also, you can, of course, use the arrows here to go back and forth. Then we have a context menu on lists. So whenever you have a list in FileMaker, you can use our context menu to, for example, copy the content of the list. So if you need a list of your field names and put that into maybe a spreadsheet. Let's see. Takes long. So we get the text with tab as separators, so we can. The computer is busy with some live recording. Yeah. So we got some text here, and this can be helpful sometimes for your documentation or whatever. So we also got here the possibility to just copy the selection. So I can just copy 3 of them. I can just copy values. Just wonder what the difference is. Let's just do it. And oh yeah, it copies only the current column. Yeah. Then we have this is not for here. Should be hidden actually. Then we have sort option, so we can sort here. I can sort all the names. So if you like to sort field names by alphabet, you can use the plugin to sort them. The plugin actually simply does for you this drag and drop. So the plugin says FileMaker, the user just move this up there and go through all the fields and sort them for you. Also, you can show the find by here, which can be very useful. And you get your edit menu entries here right away. So if you are here and you like to copy something or select all, you can do that. And the plugin also shows you how many you selected. So if you selected a few fields and you don't know how many, you can see the number here. Okay. So what else did I want to show? The context menu, the search in tables. Actually, this is in any table. So there are over 30 dialogues in FileMaker where you can get our search and the context menu. So the sorting may not work everywhere. I'm sure works here. So I haven't implemented it for all cases with the sorting, but in general, things work. And if it doesn't work, let me know. So copy selection. This was for, so if you need to copy your custom functions, your custom menus, your value list, your layout names, your security entries, like here, need to copy the user list, just copy here the entries. Okay. I don't see more. Okay, more questions. So let's.
Nope.
Next on the list. Oh, the data viewer, yeah. So I have a data viewer here, and there's nothing in. So let's just make a little dummy script. Test set variable. Need a few local variables. Let's say we have a test1. See. We have a test2, global 1, and global 1. And we need a line for the breakpoint. So let's put in here a breakpoint, run it, and we got some local variables. Oh, we don't have any global fields, but okay. Let's start with the local variables. So the data viewer is a palette, so it can stay in the foreground without taking the focus. The focus is on the script debugger, but I can click on the title here, and now the focus is on the data viewer. And I can click in through the list here. And now I clicked in the list here, I can again press Command F to get my search. I can actually find something. And if this list gets really long, you may be enjoying some finding. Same here in the list, but there's nothing currently. So again, it's a list, so you can copy lines, you can show the find by, you get the number of selected items. And for this list, we have some special shortcuts again. There's my shortcut list. So in the data viewer, we have showing and hiding fields and global variables. So let's go back. First, I can make this bigger. Again, click on the top. So I can make the font bigger, and I can hide the globals. So this can be useful if you have a lot of globals and you just don't like to hide them. Technically, they are still there, but the MBS plugin filters them for you to make them 1 pixel high in the content area. There's still some white space around, but I think we can reduce the size there so you don't actually see them. So let's also define some global fields or some fields. So we actually have fields, so we just need a script to use the fields. Set field, field, another one. So again, run this in the debugger. So let me make the size normal. So the globals are hidden. So we have some fields, and if you have a lot of fields, you don't see your locals. So we can hide the fields, we can hide the globals, depending on what you need to see. So we have that. We have search for variables. If there are no questions, okay, let's continue. Next thing. You may have seen it already. For the custom function dialog, we have some little add-ons. So custom functions. Let's define one, A, B. Let's say our custom function is A by B multiplied. And here we got a field, and we got a button for making a syntax check. Let's say here this gives a field missing, or let's say something expected. So you get you can syntax check your calculation without using the OK button to close the dialog and then either get an error or not. So you can check the syntax with keeping the dialog open, which can be useful. Then we allow you to define special comments. So test case A, so with 3 slashes there to define a comment. We can define test values, 3, and we can execute the calculation and get a result here. You may have several test cases, like you may have, let's say, an edge case and say B could be 0, and you can run that, and the plugin will recognize the last setting for your variable. So you can have several in a row and just disable one by just turning it into a comment, and then you get the 6-back. So you can actually use calculations here. So I could say B is just a field, for example, or a dollar variable, why not? Test. So, and I can still run it, and it's not defined, but I can use variables or do any kind of calculation. Let's see. Okay. So let's go. Let me just pick something. So you get a number. So test case is great, yeah. So you can actually define several and then turn them on and off as you need, and run your calculation with test cases, yeah, while you develop it. So, okay, let's close here. Yeah, it's saved here. So, custom functions. Now we have export dialog. So another thing, you know, people like to make big solutions. They have a lot of fields, and FileMaker has an export dialog. Yeah, this one here. Now you have to pick the actual fields you like to use for your export. You may not recognize the fields, and you may not know which field is a calculation, which field is a container or global. So we give you a few tools here. So we have a tooltip. So if you move the mouse over field name, the MBS plugin will look up the field and the metadata for the tables, and we found here a field image in the asset table. It's a normal field. The type binary means actually it's a container, because we show you here the field types returned by FileMaker. So binary is a container, and a varchar is a text field. It actually shows you which row you are in and how many rows you have. Can be helpful. And this is a number field, decimal, and let's see. This is a foreign key assignments. So let's just make a formula field. Is there one? No. So test. It a calculation field, simple one. And do we have a global? No, we don't have a global field. Text options, make it global there. Okay, going back to the exporting. So we have our test field, which now shows up as calculated decimal field. So we know it's a calculation. And we can just pick some fields for the export. Again, on this side of the list, the plugin also can show you what's there. And so you see how many rows you have and what index the rows have. So you know the order of the column. And if you like to have, let's say you like to have the serial number as being entry number 4, you can actually move it, because in the tooltip, you see which column it will be in your exported file. And I have some customers with over 20 fields, and then they have to make sure specific columns have specific fields. So someone was really happy about this number there. So the global is here. So it's a normal field, but it's global in storage. Type is varchar, so it's a text field. And we found it in the assets table. So I hope this export thing helps you a little bit if you have to build an export.
I mean, it's certainly really, I can't swear, really cool. Questions, everyone. I know that it's Monday and it's like the first day after the new year, so you're all a bit like bleary-eyed. But I would love to see some questions from you all. Twitch, YouTube.
Okay. The next feature. There's a relationship diagram in FileMaker. And you see there's a search box here, MBS search. The MBS plugin, when you open the dialog, only when you open it, the plugin will query the list of the table occurrences and build a pop-up menu here with all the names it finds. Then you can go and type something here like assets, and we auto-complete it based on this list we got. Do we have assignments? Also, you can type something and it will autocomplete. If you press the return key, focus will jump into this field and will highlight the first table occurrence matching the name. You can actually search several times and jump to the next one. Let me just make a few copies. So, first one. Okay, so the order is whatever FileMaker thinks is the next one in the graph. You can search here, you get autocomplete, and this can be a great help to find something and the relationship diagram. The diagram itself is basically a drawing field, so FileMaker draws a picture there. And the plugin just sees a picture, so there's not much I can do about changing anything here because this is a picture for the plugin. The field is made so it has different size. So if the dialog is smaller, it should be smaller on the next time you open it. Should be, okay. Smaller, but I think this page is saying new. Or? Okay, maybe the dialog should be smaller here. I have to change the calculation for the width there. Okay. So related to this thing is another little setting I may want to mention to you. You guys may have big databases. We recently added an option, syntax coloring with a very long name here. Don't open manage database dialog with relations. This one. So you may wonder what this does, but it's a setting you can run here. This one, run it once. And it may save you some time because when you go into manage databases and you have relationships selected, it may take a few seconds to draw the graph. And if you just want to change a field, this can take a long time. So the plugin has this little feature for Mac here to detect that you click the OK button and you are in relationships, and then the plugin switches to, I think, tables or something, automatically before FileMaker gets the OK button click. And this way, the next time you open it, you're not opening in relationships. But this only affects people with huge databases. So if you click here OK and open it again and it takes a while, then you need this setting. So relationship diagram, no question otherwise?
No, y'all sleeping over there? 'Cause this is cool. This is really cool. I mean, I've said it like 20 times. That's all I can say about the Monkeybread plugin. So, sorry.
Okay, next thing. IDs. So in the script workspace, If you remember older FileMaker, you actually know that the MBS plugin started first to show line numbers, but now FileMaker has it built in. But what the plugin also does is show you the script IDs. Actually, most people don't need that. That's more a power user feature, because you may want to trigger scripts based on their number, not on their name. So with MBS plugin, you can trigger scripts by name or by number. The plugin will simply look up for the number, what's the current name, and then trigger the script. This can be useful, so the plugin shows you the numbers. And also in the Manage Database dialog, we can show you the IDs of the table occurrences. So show ID here. And in the fields table, we can also show you the ID, but that turned out to be there. So you can actually see all the field IDs for the. I should make that right aligned, I think. Okay. So you can see the field IDs. And you can see the layout IDs. That's something I added some time ago. So you get the layout IDs here. Of course, you also can use plugin functions to query the layout name for an ID and go to a layout based on the ID if you like. I think we also got something for value lists. Yeah, so value lists also have an internal ID. And the plugin can show you the ID. And maybe going back to my help here. So we have the FM and that all the ID functions. It's value list ID for value list name. So you can go from one to another. There's also a function for script IDs to script names. And the same is here for layout IDs. So this can be useful sometimes. And for all the plugin cases where you can run a script, you can specify the script name, and usually you can also simply pass the ID of the script. That was added long ago, and you can just trigger scripts by number. The numbers don't change, but the names change. Okay. So, next thing. So that is number 12 already. So you may notice that I have here a dialog, I have columns, and I can move the columns to, well, whatever I like. Like, let's have type big. I click OK. I go back to the dialog, and the column is still there here. The MBS plugin will tell the table here to store the column width for the next time you show the same table. So I can here define whatever I like, and let's go to a different one. Let's say we go to layouts. I have that feature for several of them. So let's see. This is to know, so make it a little bit bigger, and this one too. Okay. Now we like that. Okay, close it. Let's try if it was saved. No idea why FileMaker opens the window here now. I close it here. But you see, I think it's about right. Maybe adding the ID table later moved it a little bit. So, okay, close it again. Let's see. It's a simple. The positioning of this window seems to be random, but now you see the plugin remembered the column width, and this can be very useful, especially if you have long names and you're used to extending the column width every time you open the dialog. or this window. So same as for custom functions. So here, like you may have functions with a lot of parameters, so you extend the column, and now we open it again and see, yeah. You may actually see sometimes if your computer is quick with drawing the initial column width and then it jumps. But usually the computer is fast enough to change the column width before you see it. Okay, another question? And okay, the last on.
No on YouTube.
So, okay, I had 12 on the list, and I also, when I built the list, I found another one on my blog. So when you are in the layout mode here, and you want to assign a new style, you get the style menu, and this menu is sorted by the MBS plugin. So by default, it shows them in whatever order the styles are in the database, and our plugin sorts the menu. A little thing, a very little thing, but something which can really annoy people if you have over 20 styles there. So you like to pick the right one quickly. And of course, it helps that you can actually press a letter to jump to whatever entry you like. But that's standard for macOS. So that's it for today.
Okay, we do have two questions before I let you go. From Scott Kane, does the column sizing persist through different sessions, or does it revert on file close?
No, it's stored in the preference file. So it goes for audio solutions. There's one column width we remember, and it's saved in the preference file for your local user on the computer. Which means that every computer has a different column width.
And then one from YouTube real quick. When you set the column width, is that for the file or FileMaker Pro?
The column width is remembered for the window. It doesn't depend on the database file. So for all files you open, you have always the same column width for this same window, which should be what you want. Okay.
And then can the MBS plugin provide us access to layout object IDs?
No, I'm not sure. I think there was a few, well, the plugin doesn't do anything with layout objects, but didn't Claris add some new functions here for layout object attributes and UIDs? So the plugin doesn't show you the ID, but what do you want to do with that? I mean,
he's typing, so I think he's got something in mind for it.
So technically, I could, of course, just have a plugin function, run this function, and show you an ID somewhere, but not sure yet why you would want one. Like with a lot of functions for the script IDs, it's just a plugin asking FileMaker for the list of the script names and the script IDs, and then we build a lookup table so we can show it in the window. So there's a used by item here, and let's just.
We haven't been able to use the UIDs from Claris's new functions because they change every time we close and open the file.
Really? Doesn't even give a value. Maybe I'm using it wrong. Okay, I can't fix that. Sorry.
Otherwise, people are saying they can't learn enough.
Okay, so I will probably make a blog post in the next days summarizing this list. Also, we have another list for tomorrow with 12 things for the script workspace. So
which will be
come
awesome.
back tomorrow.
Yes, no, please come back tomorrow. Y'all have a lovely time. Thank you so much again, Christian. Seriously, it's always awesome. People are always in awe. So I am going to run our closing. Y'all have a good one.
Oh, no.
What? What's up? What were we going to say?
Tomorrow. So
Tomorrow?
let's see. Here. In the relationship dialog, you can actually press Command F to jump to the search field.
Oh.
So you don't need the mouse. You can just stay on the keyboard.
Gotta make that actions per minute real fast. Okay. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you, Christian. Seriously.
Goodbye.
Got a report of an individual up here who may be a FileMaker license. Well, it's potentially expired. Look at the back of that car right there. Looks like the FileMaker license has expired. Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir!